Deadpool and Wolverine was just as good as they promised it would be, and it was truly a love letter to Marvel nerds. If you haven't seen the movie yet, buy your tickets, save this video for later, because from here on out, it's spoiler city. From the get-go, Easter egg after Easter egg. The movie opens with one of the best scenes ever, Deadpool demolishing the ranks of the TVA with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton while dancing it out to NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. It is as good as it sounds, but it was also an Easter egg. In the second Deadpool movie, you might recall Celine Dion's epic performance where Deadpool tells her to lower the bar from an 11 to a 5. Of course, it's impossible for Celine Dion to be anything but an 11 out of 10, which she does tell Deadpool, prompting him to say, "God, I should have asked NSYNC." He did, and now we have a god-tier opening credits sequence. Thank you to the stars for aligning for that one. There was also the reference to Gossip Girl in this opening. Lady Deadpool was inspired by Blake Lively because the creator was watching Gossip Girl a lot at the time, and she is Ryan's real wife, so that's super cute. The next jam-packed scene features Happy Hogan's cameo. Deadpool ends up in the 616 timeline for an interview about possibly joining the Avengers, and Happy's office is decked out with hero memorabilia. They have the Tony Stark proof he has a heart, they have Iron Man's helmets, Cap's shield, Agent Coulson's trading cards, Pepper Potts magazine, the Iron Man briefcase, and as Wade leaves, you can see a Stark Expo poster. We can also see Peter's Iron Man mask from Iron Man 2, he was the little kid. The mask is covering the picture of Tony and Peter with his Stark internship certificate. Peter's side is covered, and I find this really interesting after reading a fan theory online. In No Way Home, Peter Parker was erased from everyone's mind. That's the canon. In 2024, Peter doesn't exist. However, this scene takes place in 2018, Peter is very much around, but since we're watching the movie in 2024 when Peter doesn't exist, we don't remember Peter, so he's not shown. It's all very meta and probably not intentional at all, but I like to think it was. Anyway, the big montage of Deadpool searching for a Wolverine variant. Fans are treated to quite a few popular variations of the character. There's comic-accurate height Wolverine. In the comics, Wolverine is a short king at 5 feet 3 inches. Hugh Jackman is 6 feet 2 inches, so it was very funny to see him proportionally small. Then we meet Age of Apocalypse Omega Wolverine, then Patch Wolverine, his Madripoor self, then it's Old Man Logan, then Uncanny X-Men Wolverine, but the version where he is X-Men Jesus crucified in a field of skulls. Then it's Wolverine when he fought the Hulk in a yellow and brown suit, and they recreated the iconic Hulk reflection in Wolverine's claws. This is also a callback to Wolverine's introduction to Marvel when he fought the Hulk. Probably the most shocking variant to be seen was Calverine. Now that Marvel is rebooting everything, fans have been hoping Henry Cavill would be cast as the new Wolverine. I guess we can make do with a variant of it in this movie, but hopefully he does make the transition to Marvel from across the street. Which, speaking of, no one in my theaters laughed at the "we'll treat you better than the guys across the street" line about DC. Maybe they were too in shock at actually seeing Henry Cavill as Wolverine, but that wasn't the only DC call out. Deadpool says a line about how he is going to change the face of power in the MCU. This is probably a dig at Dwayne Johnson because he made the big claim that Black Adam was going to change the hierarchy of power in DC, but he didn't. Right towards the end of the movie, Deadpool makes a joke that Wolverine with his mask on is like Batman, but he can move his neck, which has been a running joke in Batman movies, most directly acknowledged in the Dark Knight trilogy. Another moment that was overrun with Easter eggs was Deadpool and Wolverine being thrown into the Void. The Void is where the TVA throws everything that doesn't sit right in a timeline. It's time purgatory, basically. That means it's littered with objects from across universes. There's an old Captain America shield sticking out of the ground, the Fantastic Car, a helicarrier, some Thanos Q rings, Thor's helmet, and of course a tattered Secret Wars comic heavily featuring Doctor Doom, referencing the upcoming Avengers films that hopefully we'll see Deadpool in. The fight between Deadpool and Wolverine also appears to be choreographed with references to other famous hero fights. For example, the Spider-Man 2002 fight scene between Peter and Flash, and also the moment in The Dark Knight Rises when Bane breaks Batman's back. There are quite a few major landmarks in the Void too, like the 20th Century Fox logo, the pyramids, Asgard, and the CN Tower, because Ryan is Canadian and Wolverine is Canadian. A joke was made that Wolverine was the only good thing to come out of Canada, which, as a Canadian, you have a point. But Deadpool then went up to that character and yelled, "Keep my country's name out your mouth," a reference to the infamous famous Oscars moment between Will Smith and Chris Rock. Let's talk music. At Wade's birthday party, the song Angel of Morning plays. This was the opening song from the first Deadpool movie. Then in the car fighting scene, we briefly hear the Greatest Showman soundtrack, of which Jackman starred in, and I love that movie, so my soul ascended. Deadpool also threatens Cassandra Nova and co. that Wolverine will perform The Music Man, which is a nod to Jackman's latest Broadway appearance and where he ripped his costumes because he was bulking up for this movie. Another reference made to Hugh Jackman's real life was he's let himself go since the divorce, referencing Jackman's real life divorce from his wife of 27 years. No one in my theater laughed at that, and that's how I knew I was on the internet too much. Anyway, in absolutely no order, so this video hopefully doesn't run too long, Deadpool and Wolverine escape a fight on a sentinel leg. Deadpool says it only took 20 years to see Wolverine in the blue and yellow because it has. There's a joke about Paul Rudd finally aging when we see the giant Ant-Man corpse. There's a reference to Mad Max after Sabretooth loses his head. Deadpool remarks that someone is not his favorite Chris because Marvel had casted pretty much every Chris in Hollywood. Buck messed up his line in Deadpool 2, so he doesn't get a line in this one other than his improv. From Loki season 1, we see some alien life that I can't pronounce. Narvas, maybe? After the big battle, D&W go for shawarma, just like the Avengers. A pizza box is also shown with Feige's name on it. Cassandra Nova sits on part of Thanos' chair. Stan Lee appears on the side of the bus during the epic Deadpool core fight scene. There are references to other Ryan Reynolds roles like Van Milder and The Proposal. Wolverine calls Deadpool God's perfect idiot, a reference to the first movie, as that's what Deadpool was credited as. In this movie's credits, we see who played all the Deadpools. They never actually take off their masks in the scene, so if you don't recognize voices, you had to look here. When talking about disco dust and how that's the only thing Feige said no to, Alan Wade mentioned, "Do you want to build a snowman?" This is referencing the Disney movie Frozen, a movie Reynolds has likely seen over 100 times and even joked about in interviews before. Once saying that if you play it backwards, it's a shot-for-shot remake of The Exorcist. But now to the insane cameos, we were treated to Daphne Keene's X-23, Wesley Snipes' Blade, Jennifer Garner's Elektra, Chris Evans' Johnny Storm, and the never-before-seen Channing Tatum, Gambit, and more. Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes have actually worked together on a Blade film, and they apparently had quite the feud. Reynolds loves to, improv and be a little silly. Snipes as Blade didn't. In D&W, Blade tells Deadpool he doesn't like him, to which Deadpool responds, "You never did, because he didn't." Then to Elektra, Deadpool expresses his remorse when he finds out Daredevil didn't make it, to which she says a nonchalant, "It's fine." This references not just the Daredevil movie Garner starred in, but also her real-life divorce from Daredevil actor Ben Affleck. A bit later, as Deadpool is motivating the small team, the characters ultimately decide to help as a way to get their endings, because some of them had their sequels cancelled, or in Tatum's case, over before they really started. The Gambit feature with Tatum leading was cancelled in 2019, so when he says, "Maybe the audience never got to learn about us," that's what he's referencing. It's a shame Tatum never got his full-length movie, but he did a great job, even if we couldn't understand parts of his Gambit accent. Deadpool does roast this, asking gently if Tatum's dialect coach was the Minions from Despicable Me. All the Easter eggs work because even if you don't know what they mean, it still fits. Like when X-23, she put on her pink sunglasses from Logan. Her putting on sunglasses before fighting is funny without the context of the previous films. Knowing the lore just kinda adds a meaningful layer. Easter eggs shouldn't be distracting to those that don't know the lore, but we have officially hit the credits. People were literally leaving my theater before the post-credit scenes. It's the year of the Lord 2024, how have you not gotten the memo? Anyways, one was the sweet Fox farewell montage, and the other was Chris Evans swearing up a storm. But if you actually read the credits, you're in for a treat. Nice Pool was credited as being played by Gordon Reynolds, Ryan's fake twin. In the acknowledgements, Hugh Jackman's handler was thanked. They also thanked Truthful Timmy from Saskatoon. The Easter eggs are still coming even after the film is released. After such a successful opening weekend, Hugh Jackman recreated the iconic Wolverine picture frame meme, then Ryan did the same. Also, if you look at the Instagrams for most major Marvel heroes, Deadpool has hijacked their profile pictures. How many times did you see Deadpool and Wolverine this weekend? I saw it twice, but let me know your answer in the comments. Bye!